How's it going, guys? You guys are on a great week. So I'm back today with a news update, guys. Sorry I've been a little bit AWOL for the last week. I actually have been on holiday at Center Parks, but I got back today and some news hit basically over the last few days, which is pretty massive news. So I wanted to obviously share it with you guys, talk about it, give my opinions on it. In the background, there is some Spyro Reignited Trilogy gameplay footage for you guys, which I'm playing at the moment. Really enjoying the game. It's like reliving my childhood all again. The nostalgia is so real, and so this is for you guys to enjoy. So let's get to the news anyway. So a couple of days ago, Sony basically announced that they were not going to be attending E3 next year in 2019. In fact, they said that not only would they not have a press conference on the Monday like they usually do, but actually there would not even have any presence on the shop floor at E3. Now that is absolutely massive news, because effectively it's the first time in the show's 24-year history that Sony will not be there. Now when asked the reasons why, or when asked to sort of give a statement about this decision, a representative from Sony stated, and this is a direct quote: "As the industry evolves, Sony Interactive Entertainment continues to look for inventive opportunities to engage the community. PlayStation fans mean the world to us, and we always want to innovate, think differently, and experiment with new ways to delight gamers. As a result, we have decided not to participate in E3 in 2019. We are exploring new and familiar ways to engage our community in 2019 and can't wait to share our plans with you." So that's kind of a wishy-washy statement. They haven't really given an exact reason as to why they've not chosen to attend E3 next year, but they're basically talking about wanting to find new ways to engage with fans. A lot of this decision reminds me heavily of Nintendo's decision a couple of years ago to stop doing a press release, and since then we've had obviously the Nintendo Direct that hit every E3, and we've also had sort of Nintendo on the shop floor with like Nintendo Treehouse showing gameplay and so on, and that's kind of worked very well for them. Now, there was a lot of criticism that was laid against Sony, against PlayStation for this year, 2018's E3 showcase, because they showed pretty much 4 games: Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us Part 2, Death Stranding, and of course Spider-Man. And that was pretty much the main content that they showed. And a lot of people were sort of criticizing Sony and saying, well, we've already seen this gameplay, it's nothing new, there's no exciting announcements, and they were just showcasing the gameplay. So why have Sony decided not to attend E3 next year? What do I think on this? Do you know, I actually think it's not surprising. If we actually look at the pattern of E3, more and more game developers, game companies are pulling out. I think E3, sadly, is kind of dying a little bit. It's not like it was sort of 8-10 years ago, where E3 was massively required, and it was the way that many game developers sort of got their news out and got the biggest the biggest spotlight, or the most sort of advertising for their games with sort of companies and developers and people in the industry, journalists and gamers. So yeah, 8 years ago E3 was kind of massive, and being part of it was really important. But I think over the last few years, with the development in technology, with like YouTube, Twitch, live streaming, I think a lot of developers have started to get a little bit smart with E3, and looking at Nintendo pulling out, and then EA themselves having their own showcase at EA Play. I don't think it's super surprising that Sony have chosen to pull out. I don't think it's something that we should be overly concerned or worried about. I mean, Sony have done fantastically well this generation. They've had a lot of excellent game reveals, a lot of excellent exclusive titles, and we still have a couple of games coming in 2019, hopefully. So obviously we've got Days Gone. I'm a little concerned with that title because we haven't really seen much of it, though I think we've seen enough. Hopefully it'll be coming in 2019. Of course, Ghost of Tsushima, we got to see more gameplay of that at E3 this year, and that game just looks so beautiful. The Last of Us Part 2, of course, we got to see some gameplay with Ellie, which looked sweet, and of course Death Stranding, which is highly anticipated, though confusing as hell in the same front. We haven't seen anything with Final Fantasy VII Remake, so I was hoping we would see something like this year or next year. But you know, Sony still have a lot coming, and there are a lot of rumors that they're getting ready to announce the PlayStation 5. A lot of people were expecting that they might announce that next year. I don't think they will. I think PlayStation 5 is coming in 2020, particularly at the back end of 2020, around the holiday season, because it's going to be the 25-year anniversary of the original PlayStation. So I think it would make a huge marketing sense for them to bring out a PlayStation 5 in 2020. I think we're likely to get an announcement around spring, and then obviously the console, the hardware, to be released in fall. So it'll give people a couple of months to get their pre-orders in, obviously build up the hype, that kind of thing. Do I think this is a big mistake by Sony? I'm kind of mixed on it. I mean, E3 is a massive event, and a lot of gamers, both, you know, hardcore gamers and people that are really into sort of gaming, and also casual gamers, tune in at E3. It's the time probably when you get the most viewership, the biggest exposure of the year. So I think like not being there, like not having a presence, I don't know whether or not it's a good decision. I understand the whole conference side of things. I understand them wanting to not sort of give a conference, and they could have done sort of what Nintendo does and given a kind of like a PlayStation live stream announcing games and showing some gameplay, and then had a presence on the shop floor and still interview developers, still show some gameplay demos, allow gamers to get hands-on with their games, allow YouTubers and journalists to get hands-on with their games. So I think them just not having a presence whatsoever, I don't think that's a massively good idea. It could turn around and backfire on them. Especially because a lot of other developers will be there. So a lot of other publishers, Microsoft have confirmed that they are going to be at E3 next year. So this is a massive opportunity for Microsoft to take advantage of this. Really, it's giving them the spotlight and an ability for them to sort of showcase hopefully more exclusive titles, particularly with them purchasing many developers. I think many first party developers. I think it'll be a good opportunity for them to showcase what they have to offer. There are of course rumors that Microsoft are going to be bringing out a new Xbox One, which is going to be discless, so it's going to have no disk drive. Obviously they're wanting to push the whole digital sales, the whole digital market, though for me it's still not competitive. I still think digital titles are massively overpriced, and if you don't have a great internet, the size of modern games now, it takes you absolutely forever to download these games, especially if they're like 40, 50, 60 gigabytes, and then of course you've got your day one patches and so on and so forth. I think digital titles need to be more competitive. I think they need to be cheaper in price as well. But it does give Microsoft an opportunity to showcase obviously what they have to offer, and I think if they don't take advantage of it at E3, they're really stupid if they don't take advantage of this, because Sony not being there, they are the main competitor, so that's going to be pretty huge. Of course, all the third-party developers, third-party publishers are going to be there. Activision, EA, Ubisoft, Bethesda, they're all going to be there, Square Enix and so on. So yep, they'll still be showing games, they'll still be showing titles, there'll still be lots of news, there'll still be lots of games being revealed at E3 next year. So there'll still be a lot of people, a lot of information, a lot of excitement for gamers to tune into. But not having Sony there, like, I don't know. It feels hollow. Like it feels wrong. Like Sony should be. They're part of the trilogy. They're a part of the big three. So like them not being there just seems very, very weird. Now, of course, they will be announcing things in 2019. I wouldn't be surprised if PlayStation do their own kind of like announcement or conference or like PlayStation experience just before E3 and get all their news sort of out there, or maybe do it just after E3, who knows. But it's massive news. It is huge news, PlayStation not being there. Like, it's kind of making history. It's really, yeah, it's kind of, I was surprised when I heard this and I was like, oh my God, like that's huge. That is big. So yeah, those are my general thoughts on it. I don't really know what to think or what to feel about it at the moment. I guess we'll have to see what happens at E3 next year and see whether or not it has a big impact on it. I do think that E3 is struggling. I think they are struggling. I think that's why they've made E3 open now to the public, where you can get a 3-day pass and you can pay to be able to go in. I think they are losing a lot of publishers, a lot of developers are choosing not to go and not to sort of showcase their games. Like Rockstar weren't there at all. I mean, they've never been there really. It didn't hurt them. It didn't hurt their sales for Red Dead Redemption 2 at all. So I think like E3 really needs to look at sort of reinventing itself, I think. But anyway, those are my thoughts on it. What do you guys think of this news? What do you think about the fact that PlayStation are not going to be there next year? What are your thoughts? What do you anticipate Sony will be revealing in the next sort of 12 months? Let me know in the comments section below what your thoughts are on this news and what you would hope to see from PlayStation. Let me know below. Hope you guys are having a great week. Hope you guys found this news interesting and informative. If you did, of course, please hit the like button as always to show your support. Hope you guys also enjoyed the gameplay in the background. Anyway, take care guys and girls, and as always, happy gaming. Bye guys.